the biggest question that I get, especially if you're new in your career, when I say new means you have like less than 10 years of working experience, is, hey, you know what, I think people make a lot of money in a business job, so I want to switch from, I don't want to be technical, I want to move to a business job. Or business people I hear saying, you know, technical people and these coders and developers make a lot of money, and you know, that's where the opportunities are. So you're always in this, like, if you're in a technical field, you want to move to a business field. If you're in a business field, you might want to move into a technical field. So there's just always this question when you're a new grad or someone new in your career: should I work in a technical field or should I work in a business field? So I want to share with you my insights based on the experiences that I've had in both of those sides, and which one I think I would recommend. So to give you a background, I am an engineer by degree. So I studied engineering in my undergraduate, as my undergraduate degree, computer and electrical engineering. And then, you know, my first job actually, I would say, was more on the business side. So let's say like a business analyst. And now I've been working for almost 6 years out of school, out of university. I haven't done my MBA or anything. I'm just an undergrad. And my current job is actually a pretty good job. I mean, like, I manage strategy and operations for at my current technology company. So, you know, I get a lot of people asking me, like, how did you enter that field? Like, how did you get to it? Like, you had an engineering background and now you're in business. So how did you get there? And then a lot of people ask me, why did you do that? So I want to share with you my experience, that I was probably in the category of people having done engineering where I came with the mindset that I don't like technical things, whatever you want to call it, but like coding, you know, being super like into just, you know, working on figuring out solutions on either circuits, or if it's mechanical, like thinking about like hardware design or like coding, for example, sitting in front of a computer. This idea of just like sitting in front of a computer and just doing it all day long, I just didn't like it. So I knew that my first job, like, I want to move away from it. I want to move into the business side of it, right? So like when I say business, I mean you're thinking about strategy, you're thinking about how ultimately business people think about how to make the company money, like how do you grow a business, so, or build a business essentially. That's what I thought I want to do. The past 6 years I've been doing that, and I can tell you that if I had to do it all over again, I probably wouldn't take this approach. And here's why. Okay, so I'm going to walk you through 3 major points, deciding factors that I think you should keep in mind if you're in the same position as I was in, you know, 6 years back, whether to join a technical role, a business role. So first point, if you think about, actually, let me get my coffee. Okay, first point. So if you think about what are the people who have made it to the top, right? So if you think about CEOs of tech companies, if you think about CEOs of, like, forget it, tech companies, like business conglomerates, or your banks, or your big box retailers, like whether it's Walmart, Pepsi, Coke, your healthcare firms, your obviously, like, I think a lot of other companies kind of fall in the tech category now, but like, who are they and where did they start? Like, look at their journey. So most of them actually started with a very, very technical job, right? They were either like, you know, coders, programmers, or they were like very much into like engineering. And you know, if you've had the opportunity of studying engineering, which I think 90% of the people in India I know do, but even if you're not in India or outside, like if you've had some sort of technical experience, like you would know that how, like no matter what you say, it's very, very basic. Like it teaches you about like basic things in life, like how do things work, how do things get built, like all of those basic things which are super important when you're thinking about new business, right? So over the years, these guys basically started from the bottom, like figured out, like understood, like really understood how things work because they were working on building them. They were a programmer or a developer, like working on building those products. Eventually, they moved up the ladder. That once you start understanding how the products are built, you can start contributing on the business side too, which is how do you take it to market? How do you build a business around it? How do you get more customers on your product? So that's kind of like the journey that they took, and then eventually from moving from a technical start, they moved into the business side, and then they worked into like building businesses on technology, which is where I feel the money is. If you're purely focused on the money aspect, though, I think that's where the innovation is too. Like forget about the money, like where the innovation is and where people are going to be focused on the next coming few years. So that was their journey, right? The second point that I want to bring up is that like make sure that ultimately it is on you to really differentiate yourself. So when I was in a business field, and what I do when I say business is like I think about, again, how do you build the next big business for the company? How do you take it to market? How do you grow the business? I can't do that if I don't understand what it takes to build a product, because ultimately people are selling products, right? The whole point of a business is you're bringing a solution or product to an existing problem in the market. Now, if let's say I didn't know anything about how technology works and I just said, first of all, let's build a business to like have a robot clean our cities, like just go outside and clean our cities. Why do we need people to do that, right? But it sounds like a great idea. Like, why would you need people to do that when we have technology and robots doing it in other sectors of the business? But now I kind of like know that, first of all, how complex that technology is, the number of edge cases that you would have to build a solution like this. It just gives me, like, I don't need a lot of details, but it gives me a concept about how technically challenging this problem can be. So when I go to propose a solution, I'm probably not going to give that solution, right? Because it's not that I wouldn't bring it up. I would bring it up with context and say that, here's all of the stuff that we're going to have to build for such a solution to exist. So let's think about other things, right? So I think having that technical expertise is so much more valuable. I cannot even emphasize this enough. So much more valuable than just going to an MBA school and getting like a degree that teaches you how to calculate pricing or how to calculate sales, or how to calculate profitability and like balance sheets and all that. Trust me, those are things you can pick up. You work in like 2 to 3 years in a company where you're in a business role, you will pick it up. I am telling you, because I did that, and it is nowhere close to the technical skill sets and knowledge that you should work on building, and because that's what's going to differentiate you, right? So forget about now, but think about 3 years down the line. Like, why are people stopping, or like, why do you think MBA schools or MBAs are now not valuable anymore? That's a debatable concept, but like, there are studies that show, like, we have data points to say that MBA degrees have fallen because they don't have that value. What people value now is how innovative or how creative can you get with the products. So that experience cannot come from working. I mean, it can come from working, but I think the biggest source of getting that technical experience is go to an engineering school, really focus on learning a good skill set, whether it's computer engineering, mechanical, whatever engineering it is. Honestly, just learn on that and then work in a company where you have the ability to apply that knowledge and work on it for the next 6 to 10 years would be my horizon, right? Because that gives you enough time to like learn a technology, have some specialization, and like really build your foundation. And then once you're in that field, when you have the technical acumen, you go ahead and apply for these business roles. And I am guaranteeing you, there's no way on earth a technical person would be hired for a business role. And remember this, there's like a 99.9% of the times a technical person can be hired for a business role, but a business person can never be hired for a technical role. It only works that both ways for the technical person who actually has that skill set. So my recommendation, don't want it to be a super long video. My recommendation is start at the technical level, work on jobs where you are really learning, picking up skill sets like machine learning, AI, programming, coding, solutioning, like thinking about problems, APIs, like whatever it is, like learn those things. And trust me, your growth trajectory is going to be much better than a business role. And let me tell you, like people think that, oh, if you work in a business role, you have an MBA, you make like so much more than a coder developer. I'm sorry, but that is not the case. Once you're in a business role, your growth in making more decreases every single year. Like you won't see that jump. Maybe I'm in a good salary position right now, but for me to get to the next level, I don't know, like it's going to be super hard. But if you're in a technical role, you constantly, like you may have started a developer, you may be a senior developer, you might go into product management, then you get into the business field where it's like head of like technology solutions, which is not just like you're focusing on tech, but you're kind of like thinking about scaling the business. So then like those roles are so much better and give you that experience of it will help you basically build your like portfolio in a way that you continually will earn more, learn more, and work on things that are around innovation. So that's my video for today, and hopefully you find this valuable. I'm going to be making more of such videos on career choices, career paths, like answering those tough questions that we all face. And if you have any recommendations, do leave it in the comment section below. Yeah, I'll talk to you guys later. Bye.